Welcome. What you are about to see is a personal observation of the what we now call the Five Bridges Trail. It was acquired in November of 2008. I joined the board the summer of 2008, so I really didn't know what was going on, but it was about 3 years later before we finally started some activity. And at that time, I went out to the trail and took some pictures, and then later on I took some video of what was out there, the inventory of what we had. Here's a picture of in 2011. What you see here is a regional map of the area that we cover. Now, recall that we're all familiar with this area, but people coming in from out of state don't know this area, and they need a lot of help to get around. They'll be coming in on Interstate 80 and visiting in the region, not just in Brockway or Ridgeway. And this is part of the Pennsylvania Wilds, and they have not had any active part in this. North Central has. This is a terrible view, but it shows the planning for the region, Tri-County region, the dream sheet, actually, of all the trails I want. Here's another Google Earth photo that shows the 3 trails in the region. This is what Five Bridges is all about. There are 5 bridges, and they're located here on this map, extending from Allen's Mills to Brockway. Starting on the Allen's Mills end of the trail, what you see here is the first improvement done by the Warsaw Township supervisors when they took out the bridge at Allen's Mills. They put in a parking lot, and you see the garbage can there. Here is my start of my tour on the motorcycle. You can see my bike here, and you can see we need a lot of brush cutting. 2012. This is Allen's Mills Trail. I'd say half mile and a half from Allen's Mills, and we got some serious drainage problems here. As you can see, there were about three other places which needed drainage, but it wasn't anywhere near this bad. I have a street bike that I came out with, and I was able to make it this far, but I'm not going to go beyond this point. As you can see, it is rather wet, and you can't really get around it. Quarter-mile in from this dirt road that crosses Mill Creek. I don't know what the name of it is. Maybe I can find out later. Let's see the intersection right here. And, about a quarter mile. Turn around the other side, the bridge over Mill Creek, and here it is right here. And it'll support my bike, motorcycle. In need of repair, both the ties and the of course side railing.
See if we can see any fish in here. Okay, this is where I came from. This was that right out there, a little ways, is the Mill Creek Bridge, one I just had a video of. And here's the road that goes by. The trail crosses, and then the turn around going towards Brockway. This is a bridge. I'm not sure I've documented this one. It's not in very good shape. I don't think I'm going to cross it. Pretty nasty looking right here. This looks as bad as that other bridge does. And we've got, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, about 20 ties. Flies are nasty here. This trail actually isn't very nice. There's not much shade. A lot of horse flies. A lot of hot sun. Lots of shrubs, as you can see. A lot of trimming needed. Trimming. Timbering. This is the can't think of the name of it, Beachton Road Bridge West. And it is in very good shape. It even has it has the decks and actually has the pedestrian ties. And this one will be pretty easy to rehab. And right here is the beaver lodge, and hopefully we may see a beaver.
Wildlife abounds on the trail. There's the beaver lodge, and this is a fortunate video that I got of a ruffed grouse. I was sitting in the car and saw it and took the video. Here's an early picture. This gives you an indication of what the trail looked like before we had done anything. Here again is that bridge, the Beachton Bridge, with the pedestrian decking. And here is another view of that bridge. Here we see the Beachton Bridge from a different angle. Looking on the side, you can see that this was the best bridge. The ties were in the best shape. Here's a view of the Sugar Hill Bridge, and of course this is before any improvement. This is the bridge at Sugar Hill, and looking here, very ties are extremely bad. And counting 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34 ties. The reason I was counting ties was to get an idea of how many we needed for an idea of what this would cost. And here is another view here, looking on down the trail.
Yeah, trail on, and that goes towards Allen's Mills. Now, can you see the orange signs? Posted signs. Okay, now crossing the road here, this is where it goes. The trail goes to Arch Street, and you see the posted signs. Nobody's allowed, no motorized vehicles, that's fine, that's ours. And I guess that's what this says here, and no motorized vehicles, no trespassing. Sorry about that.
This is a series of pictures which shows you the building of the bridges in different stages. Right here you're seeing a finished bridge, and here's a finished bridge from the side where you can see the railings. As we go on, you're going to see some detail of how the railing was attached, and this meant leaning over the edge and drilling holes and mounting the bolts. Not very comfortable work at all. And here's another picture. You see the ties on the left that would be going on bump rails. Again, here's a different view of that, closer view. The deck has been laid on here and is waiting for the bump rails. Here's another picture that shows the rails were mounted, and it has some temporary strips to keep the ties from moving in case somebody runs over it with an ATV or whatever. And here's another picture with the old ties at the end of the bridge. Here we go, ties down and starting the first board on the decking. In this next picture you see the addition of some more boards, some more decking, and each of those had a whole lot of screws. Stainless steel screws were put in with power drills, and again Dave Lesky furnished the equipment. He bought the hardware needed and did a lot of work. Just coming down from Ridgeway to work on these bridges, loading a trailer was quite a job. So here we are with the equipment, and Dave ran that equipment. It was donated by Apple Tractor. We appreciate that. Here's a bridge in the process. The sides going up for the railing. Here's another view of it. Those posts on the end had to be hand dug, and we ran into concrete abutments in many of them. And here we are going with the boards on the railing to keep people from falling off the bridge. And here we go with the finished picture of that railing. This next picture you're going to see myself and Dave Lesky. Dave was there for all of the work, and I was there for most of it. Here you see a finished bridge from below, and here's the view as you're approaching. In this next picture, we're going to see Dave Lusky hanging over the edge, drilling the holes for the boards, and you can see that's not very comfortable. Here we are with all of our clutter on the bridge, the tools. Here's another bridge under construction and in the process of construction. The bridges had to be planed down on that one side where we had different sized ties, and that was quite a feat there too. Dave had a nice contraption there, a series of saw blades which milled it down. And here we go, another process, the deck being put down. Here we go. This was the last of the bridges, and Bryce Zimmerman came. At that time, we didn't have Apple's equipment, and Bryce brought down his equipment and helped us with the short bridge here. Here it is, stripped of the ties and being cleaned up, and the holes being dug for the side rails. There's Bryce's tow vehicle. If you ever need a tow in the Falls Creek area, Bryce Zimmerman Towing's the guy to call. He works so hard on the trails, especially Wolf Run. Here we are again, digging a hole. And here is Bryce with his equipment, moving the ties around, taking off the old ties and putting on the new. To do this by hand, oh my, which is what I was expecting. I'm a low budget person and not very good at rounding up capital and equipment, and that's where we need a lot of help. Again, here's Bryce with his tractor, finishing up the ties, putting them down. Coming up here, you're going to see a long reach forklift, which Dave Lusky got from Apple Tractor. They donated the use of it, and you can see it's a fabulous machine. Here it is in the process of picking up the old ties, I believe this is here, and when those are done, then the new ones are put down and then manually spaced in preparation for the decking. And it was an old bridge building. We did have 5 bridges, but there's a lot of drainage over in the area around Calhoun Road. A little to the west of it, there's an area between the two cliffs that was dug out from the cliff to build the railroad. And in that area, a lot of the ties are just thrown in the ditches. Here there's actually a stream running down the trail during parts of the year. Still needs improvement now, but it's a whole lot better than it was. There's still a lot of ties in the ditches, but at least the water has room to flow through them. So go ahead and watch the video of how this wonderful piece of equipment saved us hours and hours and many backs. So that's drainage. We have a lot of drainage on every trail. Seems like when trees are cut down, the brush ends up in the ditches. Then there's mowing, which needs to be done not just once in a while, but several times a year. That's Dave's tractor, but the Trail Association bought this mower, which is very nice. It lowers so it can go over a bank to some extent. We don't have a tractor. We need a 3-point tractor, or the use of one, I guess, for all the trails that we maintain. This particular trail is the Clarion Little Toby. We haven't gone on the Five Bridges Trail with this yet. Where do we go from here? You see there's mowing, there's always trees to be taken down. A lot of work on the Five Bridges, bringing that up to speed where it's good to use. How do we make the trails usable? Five Bridges, how do we get on that? We have a problem right now from the Brockway approach, which would be the most popular one. And the answer to that is to tie the trails together. We talked earlier about tourists coming in. How do they find their way around? Trail Town Brockway has that answer by tying the trails together with signs and maps so that people can get from the Clarion Little Toby to the Five Bridges Trail and to the Wolf Run Trail. This would be an example of the brochure that they would have, how to get around. And this next map here is not very detailed, but it shows the bridges in and about Brockway, which is the hub for the three trails. The most pressing problem we have is there at Arch Street, where they took out the tunnel. The trail had gone over the tunnel, and we lost that approach. This is what it looks like now, and we're looking at there where that stone goes up. We're looking at putting a path going up over and meeting the trail up at the top. In this next view, you'll see what the tunnel used to look like. Fond memories from people from the Brockway area. You know, as you rode through, you'd honk the horn to hear the echo.
Arch Street Tunnel.
See on the map here, there's actually an area that a half-mile area that extends past Arch Street, coming towards the borough line in Brockway. Looks like it's going to be a long time before we get to use that. We would have to have a pedestrian bridge up above Brockway. Here's the property lines in the Arch Street tunnel area. There's much work to be done, and it won't be done unless we get help. Out there in the audience, we'd appreciate if you can offer anything, sponsorship, physical help, equipment loan, getting us in contact with somebody for an equipment loan. We need the help. Thank you.